on your wrist a plain Jane.
The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. What up and welcome back. It's your girl Jane, the plainest Jane, and we got some syrup to get into. So come on and have a seat on the bus, okay? Y'all know what's going down today because, right? You see the title, you read the thumbnail. We are going to get into this. MoNique didn't responded. Again, there's been a very nasty, right, back and forth and online beef over who was really supposed to headline this Saturday's show at the Fox Theater. This thing going on between DL Hughley and MoNique. Let me tell you something. It has been quite spicy, quite sticky. And MoNique has responded again.
Again?
So I want to go ahead and get into that. Now, quite frankly, MoNique is responding to DL Hughley calling her an occupational hazard, right? If you've seen the video I did last night / this morning, because I think it was like 1:45 or something like that, low after 1 o'clock. And we went over DL Hughley's latest response, which was a 7-minute bit that he did really running down why he feels the way he feels about MoNique. And now MoNique is coming back and saying why she feels the way she feels about him. So without further ado, there's a lot that was said. MoNique was calling him tender. She called him tender so many times, basically called him sensitive, right? Because of her jokes. And listen, I've got some thoughts. But the video was long enough, right? I can honestly say that between MoNique and Daddy, right? Because she sat down with her husband, Sydney, who was also her manager. It was long. It was drawn out. They definitely spoke in circles. Daddy did most of the talking, right? She spent time saying, can I talk? Can I say something, Daddy? And so on and so forth. There was a lot of semantics. There were a lot of word games. But what I can really say, though, is it reinforced a lot of the previous beefs and negative experiences that she has had. And it's like anytime MoNique gets into a squabble with somebody, if you will, she has to bring up everyone else. She uses that as an opportunity to take another dig at Tyler and another dig at Oprah and another dig. She's got new people on the list, Vivica Fox and Tiffany Haddish and Charlamagne and Steve Harvey and everybody else. And listen, she was literally on live for over an hour with this discussion. So I want to get right into it. Y'all know I screen recorded. Y'all know I got you. I want to know how you feel about it. I want to know if you feel like her response really changes anything. The main thing that I'm going to highlight is, listen, MoNique was not in a contract. There is not a contract where she has signed and DL has signed. There is not a contract with all three of their names on it. So her being upset that she didn't get what she wanted out of her contract when she didn't have a contract with him, she had a contract with the promoter and the promotional company. I think that kind of says a lot. And I think the general consensus for a lot of people right now is you need to have this type of smoke for the promoter. But will you have this type of smoke for the promoter? So let's get into it. Of course, you know, the deal memo came up versus the performance agreement. So listen, come on and have a seat on the bus. Y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood in real life. We're going to get right into it. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Make sure y'all hit thumbs up on the video and let's get ready for takeoff. Shall we?
The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
So just to give you a little bit of surrounding context, they start off addressing what was said on an unaired show, right? It was supposed to be a radio segment for DL Hughley, but DL Hughley wasn't there. Jasmine was there, his co-host / assistant. And this is something that wasn't aired, but it's clearly something that she held onto and held onto it for dear life. So listen, without further ado, let me know your thoughts. And again, checking on your mental health before you get to digging into this mess. Let's get into it.
Of one another in that regard, but beyond that, because when MoNique told me that that's what he said, I personally didn't take offense to him utilizing me. I took exception to him utilizing brother Lee and sister
Corinne,
because what had they done to him? Again, when you are a senior in the community and you 59 years old and your history is you used to be in a gang, you dropped out of school, you got your GED, that right there is an incredible story of how somebody made mistakes, turned it around, came from nothing, and made something of himself. Can't help but give him props, be proud of him. But when you listen to him go after Ice Cube, because that man made a decision as a man to say, I'm not going to get that vaccination, and it doesn't matter how much money it is. That's what you call integrity. When you have a brother named Kanye that has had the challenges that he's had, and you have him calling that man out as opposed to calling him up and saying, let me put my arm around you. And he and Steve.
Let me also just interrupt for 1 second to say that this is something that MoNique literally announced probably about like 2 hours before she went live around 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, right? And she posted, she gives a caption, and she invites DL Hughley to join her on the live, as she's supposed to be addressing the debacle, the issue that she has with DL Hughley. And she added him and invited him only 2 hours prior. Now, listen, I'm a working woman myself, and I don't got half as much money as MoNique or a DL Hughley. But and you know what? People have done this, actually. They feel like they have an issue with me, and it's come on my show in an hour. Click the link. And first of all, you didn't give me any notice. Second of all, who says that I want to sit down and have a conversation with you in front of everybody when you started this off on level 10? So DL Hughley, being the working man that he is, who's to say that he didn't get an invite prior to? She just posted it up there. But I just wanted to say that I realized I forgot to let you know that she posted an Instagram post. She captioned it and said, join us when we go live. But let's continue.
He's talking about, we come from a place called Whoop-Ass.
the Whoop-Ass tribe.
The Whoop-Ass tribe. Listen, that may have been cool when you were younger, but what you trying to give to the young folks, because if they get the whooping on people, they're going to jail. I'm 54, DL 59, Steve 62, MoNique 50-something years old. What we look
You
like?
said 50-something, I'm 54.
My bad, 54, I know. But what good would it do our old asses out here fighting? So the point of all of that is, there's an old saying, you live by the sword and you die by the sword. If you've been comfortable talking about Rizza Islam in reference to his opinion about a vaccine, if you're talking about our sister
Angela
Stanton and her views, but then she approaches you in the airport to see your personal opinion about it, but you call security. If you don't,
Okay, we sorry.
we saying to you then, we shouldn't talk about people and then not have the same energy when we see them, when we talked about them. But that's what happens when you start with people that didn't start anything with you.
Go ahead.
No, baby, go ahead.
And I want to address something too, because I want y'all to watch how people like DL Hughley will throw smoke and mirrors to try to distract from what it really is. If you watch the video of what I said, if you watch that video, I didn't say anything insulting in reference to that man's family, nor his beautiful wife. What I said is I feel sorry for your family. I feel sorry for your wife. Now, the other part that I said, y'all know what it was, and I'm gonna leave it on the stage.
But to be specific, without being specific, you essentially said, I feel sorry for your wife having to perform a sexual act on a coward.
That's exactly.
How do you perform a sexual act on a coward? There is nothing that was said about your wife.
Nothing.
your family.
Nothing.
It was directed specifically to you.
See, these are the word games that I'm talking about, because how do you say I never said anything about your wife and you proceed to put my wife and my penis and how you perceive us to have sex in the bedroom? How do you put that shit in a sentence and then turn around and say, I didn't say anything? It's like somebody literally standing you in the face and swearing up and down that the sky is red when you're looking at it and it's blue. You shouldn't be talking about my wife sucking any type of dick if that's how you feel and you want to keep family out of it, right? So MoNique want to play by these rules and then turn around and play these mumbo jumbo word salad games, and daddy is back there to help, you know, prop her up and gas her up as if, you know, this word salad makes sense. And it doesn't. There are several points that she makes in this video, such as, oh, when I said that you was DL, you know, I ain't mean it like that. It was just a joke. Okay, well, how about the joke that Jasmine told that DL Hughley didn't even tell this joke, but you keep trying to pin him to the cross like he said it, but he didn't. But I guess because she is his associate or co-host, you were offended, right, by a joke about Sydney hypothetically fucking Lee Daniels or Superhead. That is something that offended you to your core. And that was a joke because it was hypothetical, right? But you want to hold him to the cross on that, but you want to keep, and then you say, I didn't mention your wife. Here's what I said. And you're saying it over and over again. That's not it. And again, this is over a contract that you have with somebody other than DL Hughley that you did all this for. That's just the part that I don't get, and it doesn't make sense to me. But hey, hit thumbs up and let's continue.
So let me be clear again. For all the shade droppers, tea spillers, candy bar biters, Saturday night, DL Hughley was going to get his ass handed to him because through the years, I've heard this man.
So you hear that? She was going to drag him either way. She's like, listen, when I got up there Saturday, contract, headline, or dispute or not, I was going to drag DL Hughley regardless. Regardless.
Have a lot to say about me and what are the type of person I am if y'all don't know by now.
And then you use a contractual dispute as an excuse as to why you did all this. Come to find out you planned on doing this anyway. So your excuse really, it doesn't make sense. You're trying to combine the two. Just stand 10 toes down and say, listen, I'm roasting you based on everything you've done to me. It really doesn't have anything to do with this contract because DL Hughley ain't entered into a contract with you.
I wasn't going on nobody's radio show talking about how I felt towards DL Hughley. I wasn't going on nowhere. I was going to make sure the night that I spoke about DL Hughley, I wanted DL Hughley to be there. Now, I want to address something else. And everything I'm saying, please find it out for yourself. I want to address something. When DL Hughley says, and then she brought in Steve Harvey. See, let me tell y'all something. This ain't new. I watched DL Hughley and Steve Harvey sit on his show and lie.
DL show.
On DL show and lie. I watched Steve Harvey say to DL, we had to edit the show because MoNique was saying some crazy stuff and we had to protect her. And then DL says, yeah, man, you was just trying to protect her. And then Steve says, yeah, man, well, let me ask this question. When did they get into the Black women protection business? So that's why I said Steve Harvey that night. So that night, DL, what you got back was the medicine that you've dished out to our community.
It's the deflection for me because again, what does Steve Harvey, what does every person you've ever had an issue with in your life have to do with this right here? Using this as a reason to reinforce any beef and to prove that I'm right with DL Hughley and I was right with all 11, 15 of them too. It's just not making sense. And it does come off kind of problematic. It would be better if you came on there and said, listen, I'm a comedian. He roasted me on stage a while back. I never forgot it. And in the name of comedy, because that's what we do. We put it on stage. We leave it on stage. If you was going to stand 10 toes down and say, I was going to drag him regardless and call it a day. But now you playing every side of the fence. I was going to drag him either way. I dragged him because of the contract. I dragged him because this is what I was promised. It's not making sense. The math is not mathing, baby. I love you for real. The same way you claim to love everybody else for real. This is some Baltimore shit right here. But baby, this is not making any sense.
Community for so long through the years. And I want to address what you're trying to make the show out to be. Detroit, I want to say thank you for that amazing night, because it was amazing. And when DL says the people left disheartened and disappointed and they were ashamed and embarrassed, well, let's address that, because I think it's only fair. From my understanding, Josh Adams kicked butt. From my understanding, Sister Ava Rodriguez kicked butt. Now, I can speak for me because I was there. When I walked out on that stage in Detroit, those beautiful people, they gave me a standing ovation.
What happened when you walked off?
Those beautiful people gave me a standing ovation. Now, what has happened in that moment, and this is for the comics who have so much to say, come on, sweet babies, because this is comedy 101. When you are the headliner, you have to meet the challenge, regardless as to who goes in front of you and what is said. You have to meet the challenge. And what happened was, when DL Hughley walked out on that stage, he could not meet the challenge. See, I've had to go up on stage after people have been booed. I got to go up on stage because I'm the headliner. I've had to go up on stage after people have talked ill about me in front of me. I still got to go up on that stage. And my job as the headliner is to make sure when that audience leaves, they leave feeling fulfilled. So because you could not step up to the challenge, DL Hughley, you have now made it appear as if the night was bad. And if y'all were paying attention, my babies.
So finish your thought.
Oh.
He made it appear as if the night was bad.
He made it appear as if the night was bad. Just your night was bad, DL. Just your moments were bad, DL. And I want to address something else, because if you want to try to make me look unprofessional, let me tell you how much I get down for the people. I could have not gone out on that stage. I could have not gone out on that stage.
Well, why did you?
Because I love the people. I don't take those people for granted. I don't take the people for granted that may have paid their last dollar to buy a ticket to a show that I'm a part of. I don't take those people for granted that said, you know what, tonight I need to come out and release this. I don't take those people for granted. So I could have not gone out on that stage. But because of the people, I walked out on that stage, and I said that to the people. So when y'all say, well, why didn't she go out? Because that's just not the type of woman I am.
And I want to share something with y'all that y'all don't know about this human being sitting to the right. When she says it, she really means it. She had the privilege of being told by a gentleman y'all may have heard of, who said, never stop being who you are. Always be you, because you works. His name was Richard Pryor. And there's a gentleman by the name of Rudy Ely. That's the nephew of the legendary Paul Mooney. He was there and could corroborate Paul Mooney saying, you know they call you Mrs. Pryor. Why they call you that? Because you remind them of the female Richard Pryor. Now, when you hear other comedians talking trash about her, you got that from comedy royalty, the king, before there was a king of comedy. So that allows you to just keep moving forward and not take anything personally. But I say that to say, when you walk on that stage and you are a comedian, it is your job to be truthful to the audience. She doesn't work at the Quickie Mart. She's not a brain surgeon. Her behavior on stage is not unprofessional, because it's indicative of the latitude that a comedian is given. They're given a comedic license to speak in reference to their life. And guess what she did? She spoke about her life, because she would be doing the crowd a disservice to hold all that back and say nothing. And part of the reason why we're having the conversation out loud, because there are many of us who've been enslaved in our thinking to believe that everything that happens that's volatile, that could be construed as embarrassing, should be kept quietly. And what happens is, in self-defense, they teach women especially, if you are ever abducted in a parking lot, You must scream and yell because that is your best opportunity for survival. Because if the accoster, if the rapist, if the abductor gets you in the privacy of their home, you're at their mercy.
Come on.
So when you stay silent, you are.
Here's the thing. There is nothing wrong with analogies. And as a matter of fact, I enjoy utilizing analogies to help people understand things better and different. But to compare this situation to rape, MoNique, you know, being loud and very deliberate, debatably raunchy with delivering that stuff because she has a loud mouth. And when people are sexually assaulted or attacked, they scream and that's loud. I think that parallel is flawed as hell. I really do. And there's got to be something wrong for you to connect the dots between comedy and business and understanding the fundamentals of contracts and why you didn't get what you wanted or needed out of your contract, but DL got what he wanted and needed out of his deal. To connect them dots from comedy and contracts to rape, something, baby, something's not clicking. This is deflection at its finest. We get into talking about Steve Harvey's book, Tiffany Haddish, naming Vivica Fox a million times, Ricky Smiley, everything around the world, except for giving the promoters the same smoke that you gave DL Hughley, because those are the people that you had an agreement with, not DL Hughley. Rape? If you yell when you rape, you need to yell on stage when you feel slighted about your contract. I know you fucking lying. I know you are. You. Baby, let me take my ass over to the bush. Let me take, because, no.
It was gone.
Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
Someone says they do too much name dropping for me. Exactly. This is very egotistical for MoNique. She feels like she deserves more, so she names drop and she consistently says, I close for the queens, you open for the kings. That's your ego. You name all these people that you've either brushed up against and had a positive interaction with or being compared to Richard Pryor. You want to boast on your chest and keep naming this Oscar like I'm that girl. And of course, if you don't think the best of you, nobody else will, right? But at some point, that shit gets exhausting. Stick to task. You don't have to name everything and everything you've been compared to, every achievement and every person you've ever had an issue with just to address a singular problem. Baby, make it simple. There is no reason. There is no reason you sat on this live for 66 minutes doing this shit. And Daddy barely even let you speak. Daddy, Mama, whatever y'all got going on, that shit is weird. It's weird. Then she gets to calling us weird because we think the daddy thing is weird. Girl,
at the mercy of the victimizer. But when the victimizer is trying to victimize you, it is your best bet to drag them out into the public end so they can take accountability for what it is that they've done. And that's what she did that night.
And please, my babies, do your own homework. Pull it up for yourself. And then ask yourself, how many times am I going to get poked? How many times is people going to just start messing with people that's not messing with them? So again, what happened Saturday night? I'm going to say it again. DL Hughley was going to get his ass handed to him, because once y'all go back all through the interviews, I'm going to be shocked. I will be shocked if y'all say, Mo, I'm surprised you didn't get this, brother, a lot sooner, because it went on for years.
And when Brother DL says, MoNique does what a lot of women do, and that's weaponized feminism. No, what a lot of women do is they get mistreated because they're feminine, because they happen to be women. So when a woman takes the course of facing her opposition head on, she's a bitch. She don't know what she's doing. She being disrespectful. I mean, what's the name of the book Brother Steve Harvey wrote? What was it called?
Act like a lady, but think like a man.
And so what the hell does his book, you tying everything in and make your point. Make your point. Make your point. You want to be the victim and the victor at the same time. And there's something weird about that. There's something weird there that you have to remind us that you were done wrong by 11 people over there and tie it into this and say, look, here, it's being done to me again, but I stand strong for my people and not tell the truth. No, no, no. This shit is exhausting.
What do y'all see what we buy?
It just seems like an obsession at some point. Like, do you wake up every day and bring up Steve Harvey in his book and all the other people too?
Into? I'm not equipped to think like a man. I'm not equipped to think like a man.
And why does a woman have to think like a man in order to be accepted? And then when a woman thinks like a man and dealt with DL head on, now it's a problem again.
But I gotta go back to this, Daddy.
Go back to it.
I can't believe DL Hughley. I can't believe Darlene, you are tender. Now that has nothing to do with your sexuality. It has everything to do with your heart.
Tender.
I can't believe you that tender. I can't believe. Oh, and she was. What is the word he uses? Because he's using one of those words.
It was vile.
Oh yes, I can't. You, brother, you are in your feelings. I cannot believe that, DL. And that for the comedians, pay attention, baby. Pay attention. See, when you run your mouth about other people and you don't know who you running up into, and then you get to running into a brick wall, and then you want to play victim and fall out and act like you've been damaged. Come on. Like I said, I feel sorry for your family, brother.
If I may.
Yes, you may.
Change in another direction.
Change it.
Change it.
What we believe in is trying to put forth the facts because we love our people.
Yes.
And what a lot of individuals don't know is the people that he spoke about MoNique having a problem with, he said they all are the same. And they're right. They all were people who stepped to her and she stepped back. Now that's the problem. If you notice throughout the years, what are the details associated with what makes MoNique difficult? See, when they speak in generalities, it allows you to come up with your conclusion about how she was difficult, but they never go into the specifics. See, the specifics would be MoNique has a problem with Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. Oprah Winfrey for multiple reasons. Besides the fact that as a Black woman who privately said, and here's that word again, privately communicated to MoNique and I that her position for not campaigning for an award was right and it was fair because everything she did was up on the screen. In addition to the fact that she had no contractual obligation to do anything for Lionsgate. When you have Tyler Perry, who privately admits
Lionsgate,
the same.
Tyler Perry, girl, we ain't come here for this. We know about that. You told that story a million times. We got it memorized. We get it. God damn. Why are we sitting here talking about Lionsgate? This has got to stop. This has got to stop. Lord have mercy, they booted me out my own thing. They booted me out my own thing. I'm so tired. Let's get back into this because I'm about to go get Tyra Banks real quick because this is getting out of pocket. It really is. This is too much.
But you're not. Stop it! I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this. When my mother yells at this, it's because she loves me. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this. You go to bed at night, you lay there, and you take responsibility for yourself.
But also says, anything they ask me to do is what I'll do. When you have a billionaire who says anything they ask me to do, I'll do, what begins to happen is they'll use his actions of compliance to put down everybody else. So MoNique was supposed to do something for people that she owed nothing. Now, if you think that she was wrong for that, this is what I would suggest you do. When you go to work tomorrow, or if you're at work right now, go to your boss and say, listen, moving forward, I've been tripping. I've been looking for money at the end of the week for my job. Moving forward, I'm gonna work for you and let you make money off of me and I get nothing in return. If you think that what she did was inappropriate, the Black woman is violated so much that y'all heard the recording of Tyler Perry saying he was wrong and he was gonna make it right, and he is yet to make it right, but nobody is saying anything to him because he's Tyler Perry. There's a quote that goes, some people are fearful of the truth. They are fearful of hearing the truth because they are afraid it will destroy their illusion. We don't want nobody to take away our God. And we got to be connected more, not to who the celebrity is, not more to who's Black, not more to who's white, not more to who's a Democrat, not more to who's a Republican. We've got to be connected to what's right. And sometimes when you're connected to what's right, you got to face the ridicule associated. But we rather face the ridicule associated with doing what's right than face the personal ridicule that we would impose upon ourselves for standing there and letting wrong happen and say nothing.
Now I want to address the contract and a deal memo.
May I help you with that? I'm
Yes,
sorry,
Daddy. Yes.
Yes, Daddy.
Hold on, take your time.
So, as not to free
Sydney, she said she wanted to address the damn deal memo and stuff. And here you go. I goddamn it, the man is supposed to lead, but sometimes it can be interchangeable. Don't mean they got to lead 100% of the time, especially when they leading you down the road like this. What is the name of this road? This is a dangerous, confusing ass road. This is just too much. It's too much. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Fame comment says, if that's two fools in love, I don't want it. Well, no, because we won't get to the point where she's going to say that I think she's going to call us jealous of her and Daddy. Baby, you can't make this shit up.
Style, I pulled up the difference between the two. This will give you it in a nutshell. A memorandum of understanding, or the deal memo that DL Hughley presented to the people. It says, a memorandum of understanding is a document used to articulate an agreement between two or more parties. The document is likely to detail the scope of the agreement, the length of the agreement, and the state how the agreement can be terminated. A memorandum of understanding is often used before parties are ready to make a formal, let me repeat that. A memorandum of understanding is used before parties are often used before parties are ready to make a formal agreement. Parties can use a memorandum of understanding to outline expectations and responsibilities before a full agreement has been reached. Unlike contracts, however, a memorandum of understanding is not intended to be a legally binding agreement. As a result, parties can typically avoid the agreement with no legal consequences. Let me repeat that, and I'm gonna break it down in layman's terms. When they say unlike contracts, however, a memorandum of understanding, which is what DL provided the community with,
yes,
is not intended to be a legally binding agreement. By legally binding, that means that if you were to try to sue for what was not on a memorandum of understanding, there are no signatures. It is not legally binding. And the agreement, because he made the statement, oh, that came from his company. Well, the MOU came from UTA, which, as it says here, unlike contracts, however, a memorandum of understanding is not intended to be a legally binding agreement. As a result, parties can typically avoid the agreement with no legal consequences. However, that brings you to what MoNique presented you with, which was a legal binding agreement. See, one of the key differences between a memorandum of understanding and a legal contract is enforceability. That means the key difference between a contract and a memorandum of understanding is enforceability. Contracts are created when two or more parties intend to create a legally enforceable agreement. Parties into contracts after an offer has been accepted with considerations. Parties to contracts are legally obligated to comply with the terms and conditions of the agreement. I'll repeat.
Hey.
I'll repeat.
Hey.
It says, parties to contracts are legally obligated to comply.
Yes, read us those Google definitions, because baby, we don't know how to work computers and shit. No way. Listen, you can break down what this means all you want to. You should be breaking, because you didn't get what you wanted out of the deal that you were promised. You got paperwork promising you something and you didn't get it. So maybe you should be reading those definitions and giving some smoke to the promoters. So you can sit here and laugh about DL Hughley and his deal memo and call it a joke, but joke or not, in your mind, it got the job done. His needs, his deal was met. Yours wasn't. So maybe you, Sydney, needs a better understanding of how to really go about executing and getting what you thought you were going to get out of your business deal. There's no reason why you didn't get what you wanted out of your business deal when you're upset with someone that you didn't enter into a contract with. She's going to harp on this contract versus deal memo all day long. And that is an issue she needs to be speaking with the promoters about.
With the terms and conditions of the agreement. If a term or condition of a contract is breached, parties will face legal consequences. So what does that mean? The documentation, hence the performance agreement that MoNique provided you with, is a legally binding contract, which is the reason why, if you looked at the bottom of the contract, you saw initials on both sides, one from the promoter, one from our side. When he said this came from their company, it did, because the artist must have a standard contract she provides as a courtesy to the promoter, because they won't know what it is that they need in order to utilize her services for hire. We wanted to get that granular and specific because DL was comfortable speaking in generalities. And generalities allow things to be hidden, such as the truth.
You know how you keep watching our stories over and over and over again, and the only thing that changes are the faces because the stories remain the same? And if you want our babies to believe that a deal memo is anything close to a contract, what are you feeding us, DL? You know that's a deal memo. You can put anything you want to put in the deal memo. That's what you would like. And DL Hughley has yet to still show his signed contract. And this is something else that I want to address to us. When I see the comedians having these conversations, it makes my heart hurt for y'all, because it's making me understand how they are able to exploit, take advantage, use, misuse. I understand how it's able to be done, because when y'all start standing up and you're fighting against a sister that's saying, you've got to treat us fairly. You're fighting against a sister that's saying, I earned that position as headliner. Didn't nobody give it to me? I earned that position. You got a sister that's saying, listen, I'm, as DL Hughley would say, oh, she just selfish and thinking about herself. Anybody that's selfish, DL Hughley, would not take a 13-year hit in their career. See, if I was selfish, I would have taken the $500,000 that Tyler Perry tried to offer.
To be quiet about it.
To be quiet and make it go away. If I was selfish, DL Hughley, I would have had the conversation privately. See, I know the moment I say it out loud, I know the ridicule is coming. I know it's coming full force, but you know what? I don't care.
And when they say, we don't like the way they do business, why is it they don't get specific about
The
what
business
it
we've done.
is that we've done. The problem that it's had with MoNique, as with many Black women, y'all not supposed to stand up for yourself. You're not supposed to stand up for yourself. If Tyler Perry says anything they ask me to do is what I do and he's a billionaire, well, who are you to stand up for yourself? See, we know we crazy. We crazy because everything that we're
Yep, you crazy. Let me tell you why you crazy, Sydney. Sydney, here's exactly why you're crazy. In case you need it broken down for you, right? See, because I gave you your turn to talk and you just wasted my fucking time. So the reason why you're crazy is because you are her manager. That contract was drafted up under y'all's company and you do all her stuff. Y'all are a one-band show, okay? If she was supposed to be headlining and the highest paid person, how come you didn't see the way that show was being promoted? Because the show wasn't being promoted like she was the headliner. Debatably, the show was being promoted like DL was either the sole headliner or they were co-headlining together. And how come out of all of the marketing materials and all the promotion as her management team, right, making sure that if you had caught the way that show was being promoted dating back to March, you could have been able to give yourself some time to clear up this issue. DL Hughley didn't put together those promotions. He reposted what was posted by the promoters, but that's not his job to promote it. So there was some issues leading up to before the performance that you didn't catch, Sydney. And maybe had you caught the way the show was being promoted, the printout of the ticket subs and all these other things, you would have caught a clue as to how this was going to play out. Who was the perceived headliner and why is this not being promoted correctly? I don't understand why they didn't even send the promo materials to you and through you first before it was even distributed to everybody else so that you could sign off and approve that. But you act like the last day, the day of, everything is DL Hughley's fault. There is some fault for you to take here. You and the promoters, right? Some would even say there's fault for all of y'all to take or whatever, since he took a jab at you and said you're no Dave Chappelle. You're not a Dave Chappelle. You're not a Dave Chappelle. And that's not me taking anything away. I truly feel that MoNique is more talented, funnier, right? She's funnier than DL Hughley. That's just a fact for me. But there's some blame here. You're not Dave Chappelle. You're not. Why are you taking offense to that? You just said somebody else called you the female Richard Pryor. You can't be the female Richard Pryor and the female Dave Chappelle. And the shit that you take offense to and the shit that you tell DL Hughley not to take offense to, it doesn't make any sense. But go on, child. Go on.
Communicating goes, it is counterintuitive if you're trying to get the bag.
You know what, Daddy, though? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But if you're trying to get inner peace, because it's a lot of rich people out here, but they don't have inner peace. Everybody's mama, when they set out for Hollywood, say, don't forget us when you make it. I'm sorry, don't forget where you come from. That's what they say. Don't forget where you come from. Well, we come from a little place called Baltimore, Maryland.
Shout out to Baltimore.
Little place called Baltimore, Maryland. But it's no different from Detroit. It's no different from Philly, DC, Compton, Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. It's no different from Nebraska. It's no different from New York. Where the real people live, they can relate to what it is that we're saying. They appreciate the specificity, the specifics, the granular discussion that we're having. We are not going to talk to you in generalities. You can't ask us, do we have anything up our sleeve, because we came here wearing tank tops. Okay? We want to be transparent with you. I'm sitting next to a Black woman who you want to call selfish, but y'all forget when he brought up Lee Daniels. See, Lee Daniels has a support team that tapped into that man's conscience, that made him say, let me go up on stage and give this woman an apology. I want my friend back, because I know. And if y'all listen to what he said afterwards, it's very important. He said, I got caught up essentially in the hoopla until I realized what was important. And it took an individual who had enough nuts, literally and figuratively, from the trans community named T.S. Madison, to have a real conversation with him. It took his family, his sisters, his people, black women
Come on.
that circled him and said, do right. Do what.
Imagine having a fallout with your friend who also just so happens to be a business associate of yours, right? And y'all do business together. And you apologize, because that's what Lee Daniels did. He apologized. And every time MoNique has a problem with any person thereafter, she's going to rehash y'all's issue and retell the story of y'all's falling out just to make a point about the person she getting into with it now. I wouldn't want to be friends with nobody like that. Girl, we apologize. We moving on and forward. Why do we have to keep unpacking this when this shit ain't even about us and our discrepancy? This is about you and him. Make it make some goddamn sense. All around the world and yeah. You talking about taking a long way to Walmart when it's just around the corner. Damn.
What's right. And you know what? He was big enough as a man
Come on.
to do it. See, we don't fault anybody for making a mistake. The fault comes in when you know you made a mistake and you're not big enough to own what it is that you've done. And this black woman right here, because y'all people have called her selfish, y'all wasn't there on the set when it was a white gentleman refusing to give Lee Daniels the light he was supposed to get. And he said, I'm not going to give Lee the light that he wants. And MoNique pulled his card right there and brought Lee over and said, this man is messing with your life. Y'all wasn't there on the set of Almost Christmas when Will Packer was given direction over a black man named David Talbot, who wrote and directed Almost Christmas. And she said, hey, don't disrespect this, what?
Black man.
By
Director.
giving directions as a producer over the director. If you don't believe us, ask the question. See, y'all weren't there when MoNique was on the Parkers. And she said to the individual, because this is what makes her a problem. I need y'all to know she can be difficult. This is what makes her a problem. The individuals that you call extras, she calls background professionals. She had a problem that they were sitting around all day and water and lemonade was what they were given. And she said, why won't y'all give them some of the hot food that we eat? Because we ordering out and y'all ain't even eating. See, that is a problem. But who is it a problem for? Is it a problem for the people who are sitting there all day with lemon and water if they get hot food? Because they were there before
We get there.
okay? And there
After.
Or is it a problem for the powers that be? And you got to ask yourself, who is she having these challenges with? Is it the powers that be, or is it the people in the support positions trying to uplift the show? And it's the powers that be. Now, if Tyler Perry, if Oprah Winfrey had the courage to do the same thing, MoNique never would have been blackballed for 13 years because they would have said, we can't ask that sister to do anything for us for free.
I'm about to throw my
when we don't have a contract for her to do anything with us.
Thank you, baby, because I want to address something.
Get it.
And I want you black women to hear what this black man is saying. I gave MoNique a chance. DL Hughley said he gave me a chance. Well, here will be the question. To do what? What did you give me a chance to do? You weren't the promoter. No monies came from you. Who are you that you would be giving me a chance? The arrogance.
You talking about
That
arrogance.
you could speak like that,
Ma'am.
that I gave her a chance to do what, DL? And then if you're going to tell it, please don't mislead people. DL and I were scheduled to do another show together. I want us to address it, and I want y'all to do your homework. If you remember the Super Bowl show that happened in LA, there was a time that DL Hughley was on that show. And then there was a time that he just wasn't.
But you were the what on that show?
Headliner. I was the headliner on that show. All these other times that he speaks about, that it never came across our desk. So stop trying to pull the wool over the community's eyes. And what I would ask of the community, what I would beg of us, stop being so quick to jump on the bus, whichever way it goes down the street. Be brave enough.
Now, wait a minute. You're not coming at me like that, Mo. Hold up. Did y'all hear what she said? She talking about me. She telling y'all not to get on my bus. I be goddamn. Hell no. Why? What I do? I know she ain't just tell people not to get on my bus. Not to check out my channel. Girl. Don't be so quick to get on the bus. Girl. I'm just joking, but still, don't tell these people not to get on the bus. They want to get on the bus. God damn it, if the destination is where they want to go, y'all all aboard. Damn, hit thumbs up. Did you pay your fare when you got on the bus? Speaking of which, shit. Thank you so much for the $19.99 super chat, Dr. Nique says. I just can't with Sydney. Yeah, because this is just, they taking us all around the mulberry bush. You better be glad I got the bus to lead them through, because you got them lost. Where were you even going with this? I'm very necessary. This bus is very much necessary. Because where is this going? Don't make no damn sense. You out here trying to mess up my business. Leave my passengers alone.
Enough to listen to what it really is, not your emotions, not what you listen to, the facts of what it is. Go back and listen to what I said. I feel sorry for your family. I feel sorry for your wife. Listen to what I said. Listen to what I said when that man said, would your husband, or that woman said, would your husband rather sleep with these people? Ricky Smiley, would you be offended if someone said that about your loved ones? How about you, Roland Martin? Would you be offended if someone asked you that about your wife? How about you, Kim Whitley?
And he was also speaking in reference to wanting to give MoNique a chance, and his people have warned him against it, as if he had some sort of prophecy seeing into the future ability. Let's clarify why he felt that way.
Why did he feel that way?
See, there was a show that he was doing on TV1 called the DL.
Said, let's clarify why he felt that way. Why did he feel that way? Girl.
Yes.
They reached out to me to ask if MoNique would come on the show. I informed them, per her statement to me, that she would not be coming on the show.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, we thought she was going to figure out how to get it right side up this time. Child, they've been sideways the whole time. This is why they need a publicist and a team to help them be more efficient and savvy with social media. She is behind on the times, and I get it. She old school. People from the old school, it taking a while. They stuck in their ways. But goddamn it, everybody trying to turn their head to really get some eye contact and see what's really going on.
That is sweetness. Okay.
They then came back and asked why. I said to MoNique, would you like me to tell her? She said, please do. I expressed to them, MoNique did not feel comfortable going on a show with an individual or supporting a man that she thought was a friend that would blindside her with the question that was ultimately putting our people down. So it was at that moment that DL knew there was a problem between MoNique, but if you notice, he never made mention about that.
Why not?
See, we get into the specifics because we don't have anything to hide.
I'm sorry, Daddy. The way DL Hughley is playing it is as if I just came from out of left field and just jumped on this man. No, DL. See, what you can't erase are the interviews. You can't erase your words. Those are your words. You can't erase calling me mentally ill. You can't erase calling me all of these slick things, brother. That's what you said. And now you tender. Now you're trying to trick our community. So when you're talking about I turn.
Not her getting a phone call.
Turn people against you. No, DL, you do a fine, mighty job of that.
And now you
yourself. And what happens is when you get your own medicine, now we sit here And I want to address something else, Daddy. When I listen to people like DL Hughley, and it says, and calling him daddy, that's so weird. And I listen to the people like the Breakfast Club. This daddy thing, that's so weird. And I listen to some other people. Isn't it weird that they got us thinking love is weird to each other?
In addition.
And see, this what I'm not going to do. Because one thing that I am good at is words. Okay, my syntax, my diction is on point, and I'm gonna toot my own little horn just for a slight moment, right? Right. I'm still very humble, right? I tell myself I'm nobody, so I don't get too big headed. My head already big. But what you're not gonna do is play in my motherfucking face with these words. That's what you're not gonna do. We don't think love is weird. Stop playing with me. All of us got a cousin, a family, a cat, a loved one, a mother, a spouse, somebody. Even if it's somebody we fucking that we got some feelings for. It's not the love that's crazy. Please stop misconstruing shit and taking it out of context. No, it is weird for you to be all over the place. Daddy, daddy, daddy. Does he call you your daughter or something? There's something weird about that bedroom talk that you try to normalize and put it into business situations. You in the middle of doing radio interviews. Daddy, daddy, that's fucking weird. Nobody cares about y'all loving one another. Be happy. I wish you would just let him love you full time instead of fuck your career up. But we don't think that love is weird. Please stop it. The daddy thing and what you call him in public in front of on a world stage in front of your 1.2 million followers. That, my friend, is what's weird. It's not the love. It's the labeling that really belongs in the bedroom. But continue, because this word salad semantic shit is this word gymnastics is crazy, and they really think they cooking. They think they eating it up. They think we gonna kill them with this. Okay, killing my brain cells, my patience, and my tolerance for this shit. That's what you're killing. I'm only doing this for the people on this bus that find me and this together to be entertaining. It gives us something else. You know, there's another mass shooting that happened literally not too long ago. This is an escape. You lucky we even here. 66-minute live with this. Damn it.
They failed to mention that I refer to her
as mama. So we have bought into.
So he your daddy and you his mama. Make some room in the bush. Somebody move over. Because this is too much. Because first of all, we don't ever hear him calling you mama. They leave out the fact that the mama, when did you make that shit public? When have we ever heard Sydney out here saying mama? He got to your age and he said you 50 something. He ain't even say correctly that you was 54. You had to go back and correct him. He named DL Hughley's age, Steve Harvey's age, his age. He got to you and said you 50 something. Mama, we ain't leaving shit out. You never shared that. Let me take my ass to the bush, y'all.
It was gone. Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
People having enough reverence and honor and respect to call each other mama and daddy, and they've made our community believe that that is weird.
It is.
Really?
It is.
So again, when I say I feel sorry for your family, I stand on what I said. Because anytime you're pouring into the community to show your spouse how much reverence you have for them, how much love, honor, and y'all have brought into it is weird. And I want to address it because I see some people writing down, oh, that go her husband again. That go, yes, there he goes again. God damn it. There he goes. Here he will stay. And because it looks so unfamiliar,
right,
to see a Black man standing with his Black wife, because it looks so unfamiliar to us, some of us sweet babies will try to pull it apart.
But when you...
She said, I see some people writing down. I love it when elder people get to talking about social media. I see what y'all writing down. Maybe they type in the comments and you see them on the screen. They're not writing nothing.
Get pulled up by Miss Sherilyn in the Whole Foods and she grabbed you by your arm and she pulled up her girlfriend who easily was in her early 70s. And they say, we proud of how you stay by that black woman. We proud of what y'all doing. We can take all the ridicule, all the insults from anyone. What we trying to imply and confirm for individuals that are together, utilize your mate, because the system, the business, the world is designed to divide us. Out of the individuals that you've seen talking about the poor treatment that women get in this industry, how come you never see their management with them?
How come?
And the reason is, it is not in the best interest of management to speak to the bias that is attached to their black artists. And the reason being, they are beholden to the studios. Because as MoNique was told by a former manager of a larger agency, and I witnessed it, he said, it is in our best interest to be on the side of the studios. Why? Because artists come and go, but the studios still stay.
And when y'all are saying, MoNique called DL, I have no reason to call DL Hughley. If DL Hughley would like to talk to me and my husband, there's an open invitation. We would love to come on the show. But see, I didn't open up the door to this. DL Hughley opened up the door. Now you want to run and hide and close it. And now you want to talk and act as if you have been victimized. That's what.
No, I think it's you that feel like you've been victimized. And I'm not saying that you haven't been subjected to some unfair circumstances in Hollywood. Like, let's keep it a buck. But your conflict resolution skills are trash. You start this war, this nightmare, right? On stage, a personal attack over your contract, and then say, I'm not calling him, but he can call me. So you wanted this shit in the court of public opinion. And then when the court of public opinion do what it do, you sitting here for 66 minutes with daddy trying to combat it or make every point to address every piece of criticism to make it all make sense. And you can't. It's impossible.
Where the shame should come in. That's where the shame and the embarrassment should come in. See, there's no interviews y'all can find of me speaking about DL Hughley. There's not one interview in the history of interviews that you will find me speaking ill about DL Hughley. Not one, but there are several out there of him speaking of me.
And others.
And you're right, Daddy, because it ain't personal. And others. You run your mouth. And now I would like to address the dog and your dad, because I always want to make sure I'm playing folks fairly. See, really read what was written in reference to you having a support dog. Really read it, my sweet babies. Don't let a person like DL Hughley cloud your head on what he wants you to know. The words are there. The words are, a person that would need a support dog is a person that should never speak ill about anybody because they have their own concerns and issues that they're dealing with.
MoNique, a person with a support dog isn't allowed to give commentary or tell jokes on other people. He's a comedian. A support dog is really just a form of support. A support animal is a form of support, whether it comes in the form of your cat, your goldfish, your spouse, or your next door neighbor. Everybody has a living being that's supportive or that supports them. Yours is sitting right there enabling the shit out of you. So he ain't got a right to talk. MoNique doesn't like any criticism. Yeah. Now, if you don't agree with her through and through, oh, she's going to hold on to that forever, which is, I guess we're not to the Vivica Fox point. Vivica Fox, her job now is to give commentary over on Fox Soul with the Cocktail with Queens. Vivica Soul gives her commentary and doesn't agree 100% with MoNique. Here she is, Vivica Fox. Vivica Fox. It's these people's jobs. It's these people's jobs. And Vivica Fox, she's not a dragger. Now she'll sit in that chair and has her posture and it's giving faux queen, but it's not an attack. First of all, accountability is not an attack. But one thing about Mo, listen, she is not going to back down. That's one thing I can say, right? Black woman from Baltimore, that's just most character. She ain't backing down for shit. She might have collected apologies from people over the years. Have you ever heard her issue one? Ever in her career. She's never done anyone wrong in her career. And if she's ever apologized within the confines of her career, it's been private and behind closed doors. But when she's being loud and boisterous about what other people are doing to her, they have to come to her beck and call if they so choose and apologize to her loudly in public. When has she ever issued an apology to anyone? Or has she always been in the right and never been wrong professionally in her comedy career or entertainment career, should I say? No, I don't know. Thank you so much for the $99.99 super chat. It's Hawks, baby girl. This is for the 66 minutes of your day you can't get back. I won't be able to get them back. I won't. My sweet babies, I will never be able to get my 66 minutes back. Ever. Ever. And I saw I had a new channel member join as well. Thank you so much for joining the membership.
Now, when you speak about your children and your family gave you that dog because you were really close with your dad and the love that y'all have, and you want to keep him with you all the time, I respect that. And I hope that your dad told you, son, don't mess with people that's not messing with you, because you're going to get your ass handed to you. I hope your dad shared that with you. So as you're walking the dog full of love in reference to your dad that is respected, I hope you take the principles and the morals and the values that Mr. Hughley fed into you to say, hey, brother, treat people like you want to be treated. Now, you treated Monique like you wanted to be treated. You talk shit to that baby for years, and then Saturday night, you got tender.
Tender.
How does that make sense for all the comedians that's watching? What are we teaching them, DL? Are we teaching them it's okay to act that way? For the older veteran comedians that got involved into this conversation right here, and y'all started speaking foolishly, what are we telling the babies coming behind us?
Tender.
See, that's important to me. I know for some of y'all, it ain't important to y'all. You got yours, they got theirs to get. It's important to me what they see. It's important to me that they did see that contract. I'm glad you showed that contract. Sweet babies, if you are your own business, you should have your own contract. I don't know what kind of business DL does, that he would have a deal memo and say that that is a contract.
And you now know, for those who didn't know before and those who heard, the difference between a deal memo and a legal binding agreement. That deal memo is not enforceable. So why would he give you a deal memo that is not enforceable in the court of law? Look it up for yourself. Versus showing you a contract, a standard contract that has been written up by our attorney. And please understand, in your 32-year history of being a stand-up comedian, how many times has this happened?
This is the first time.
And we understand the promoter needed to grow a pair and tell DL what this situation was.
Okay. Slight smoke. You said the promoter need to grow a pair of balls and tell DL something. Let's see if you'll give any more smoke to the promoter, because that's a crumb compared to the 8 loaves of bread that Mo threw at DL.
Because he got on the phone with our attorney and I and said he couldn't understand why DL's people were acting the way that they were acting when we don't have a contract. I made a verbal commitment to him, but we don't have a written contract, okay? Now, I don't know about you in 2022.
I don't know about y'all in 2022. You're asking DL Hughley why he didn't put his business contract with all of his information. You know how sacred and how private and personal a contract is? And you're wondering why he didn't post that on social media. Meantime, we ain't see your signature, Mo. We seen 2 initials on page 1. We ain't see page 8. Page 8 is the page with the signatures. So you posted the front page and limited information as well, because who's really just posting their contract on social media so everybody can get a hold of all of their behind the scenes information and shit? Now, if it was just y'all two and y'all exchanging, information behind the scenes, that's something different. It's just you two. But you asking why he didn't bust his full contract out in front of millions of people, it makes sense why he didn't bust that out. You lucky you got a deal memo, which was just a summary of what his proposed terms were. Come on now, this is juvenile to ask why he didn't. I'm not busting my pay stub and uploading it to YouTube to prove nothing to nobody. I don't give a hell who it is. My pay stub. Really, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Alan says, Monique and her husband love playing victim. I'm sick of her playing high and mighty. Ciao.
Because we don't have horses tied up to a stick outside for them waiting for us, where a handshake and your word supposed to mean something. The man said, I didn't have a contract. Now, he could have been lying. But DL provided you with a memorandum of understanding. A memo is what it said. You read it. So when you get a chance to see it, compare it, listen. Don't be afraid to go with what's right, because they will get you based upon who's popular. Don't do that to yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice.
And I want to address it, Daddy.
Sure.
For those of you who had questions about my professionalism on that stage, I've been doing this for a long time. So for those of you who had questions about how I handle my stage performance, listen, that's my stage performance, and I'm unapologetic about it, Vivica. I'm unapologetic about that stage that I go on.
Vivica who?
Vivica A. Fox.
Not
I'm
instigating.
unapologetic about what
Because y'all don't have to name drop everybody who has given you some criticism or not, feedback that is 100% in agreement with your stance. Vivica who? Here he go putting the full battery in her back, not just half of it. Vivica who, baby? Vivica Fox. She said something I didn't like. Jesus.
I do on that stage. What you are not is a stand-up comedian by far. So for you to have any questions about it, ask somebody that can really educate you on what that stage is, not someone that want to host and take female comedians around and get paid off of their craft. See, I don't mess with anybody, y'all.
And a lot of individuals that have had a lot to say have been individuals that have confided in Monique. They were friends.
Through the years.
Not her Wi-Fi acted up.
Like Sister.
It's like Sister Vivica, like Sister Kim Whitley, like through the years, y'all. So it is important for me to say this. It is important for me to talk to the little.
How long is the list? Vivica Fox, Tiffany Haddish, Kim Whitley. Child, I'm out of fingers and toes when it comes to the people that she has got the name drop that she don't like because they said something that she didn't agree with.
Girls who is not here yet. It is important for me to talk to the babies who's in the 7th grade and 8th grade and 9th grade, and they thinking about getting in this business. It is important for me to let y'all know what to look out for. I'm obligated to do that, and I'm gonna tell you why. When y'all gave me the title of Auntie, I didn't ask for it. I didn't sign up for it. I didn't campaign for it. I didn't write a letter. That's what you babies begin to call me, and I took it as an obligation
and an honor.
And an honor for a community to now look at me.
Oh, that's a bad still.
As a 54-year-old woman and call me Auntie. So my job is, and I'm obligated to say, this is what you must look out for. This is what you must watch out for, because people that you welcome into your home, people that you bring, the sister, making sure that it. Can y'all still hear us? I want to make sure.
Shall we finally got it up right? Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
If you can still hear us, say yes. Yes. What I am not is the sister that you can poke, that you can say what you want to say, that you can make fun of and you can joke, because what I am is a comedian. What I am is a comedian That's what y'all forget. And see, Vivica, when you questioned and you said you side out of the audience about them saying they were clapping for me and how could she do that? Were you listening to the audience in front of me? They were entertained, sister. They were laughing. Some were standing. Some were hollering. They were enjoying themselves. So I hope now you don't take what I'm saying to you personal, because I don't take it personal. I just want to address it so that maybe y'all will think twice before y'all start speaking on people's lives and their decisions, because you have your own issues.
And we have to stop being comfortable with hearing the tea spilled on someone else, but now you are uncomfortable with a Black woman sharing her own personal experiences.
Yes.
She ain't dropping dimes. She ain't spilling the tea on nobody else. She's not spreading a rumor on somebody. That we're comfortable with that. She's telling to you, and she's speaking to you in reference to how do we avoid the pitfalls that's out there designed to catch us up.
How? So June 18th, I'm going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Come on.
At the Duke Energy Center. And will I have some shit to say? Yes, but I keep the stage. I keep this. When we talk to our community, it's in nothing but love. And I love us for real. Despite what y'all want to think, I even love the ones even more who don't get it. I love the Black women even more who tell me to shut up and sit down because I know I got to fight for your babies. Because you damn sure not. You damn sure not. So for every person out there, every Black woman out there, I'm speaking to us. Every woman out there, be unflinching in your position. Be unwavering in your position, and don't let a damn soul bully you. I don't care who it is. Let them know when they run into you, they running into a wall. So DL Hughley, you ran into a wall, brother. You ran into somebody that said, I ain't taking that land down.
And when you run into an individual, because people don't understand why MoNique is the way that she is. See, when you run into an individual, because you wanted to tell your story in reference to the dog and your history and things of that nature, and that's fair. You're looking at a woman that was molested at 7 by her brother, her older brother.
Okay, wait a minute. What's this got to do?
15, 16
wait
years
a minute,
old.
wait a minute. How did we get here? I know you did not come up here to tell your whole life story and every trial and tribulation you've ever experienced. What? Okay. All right. Because
y'all need to stop. Y'all need to grow up. Grow up. Tired of telling y'all to grow up. Y'all need to stop it. I'm tired of it, y'all. You ain't finna work me out.
you better stop trying to trauma bond with these people when you're supposed to be talking about this damn DL story. Okay? Stop just dropping globs of trauma with no tact, hoping that somebody will hear that and say, oh, I was too, and I'm a strong Black woman. I stand with Mo because I too dealt with that in my childhood. What the parallels y'all are drawn here, and y'all really think y'all cooking. It's sick. It's some sick shit. I won't call you mentally ill because, baby, I don't need you coming for me in my bus. Okay? We gonna ride Baltimore to Baltimore, baby, because I ain't backing down either if you come for me, Mo. Okay? you talking old flavor versus young flavor. Okay? But, baby, this was uncalled for.
Then that brother walks her down the street and lets 2 other of his friends do the same thing to her.
That's what we signed up for today, right? No trigger warning, no, let's talk about harmful stuff, from the past and how to heal. None of that, right? How did we get here? Damn. Listen, Mo, I don't know if you already in therapy or counseling or whatever. If you are, I know they go through a hell of a hard time dealing with you and this shit. If you're not already in therapy, please find some. And even still, they're going to have a hard time dealing with this right here. This is crazy. Hit thumbs up if you haven't already. Lord have mercy.
When she gets old enough and understands the level of violation that she experienced without her mother and father coming to her aid, she realized, I gotta sometimes do this myself. I gotta fight. I'm not gonna let nobody else take nothing else from me. The only difference now is daddy and mama, we're gonna stand together in this and let folks know that's what you're supposed to do. They got us fooled in believing what we doing is odd, is wrong. No, we supposed to stand together and uplift our community. And black men out there who are out here attacking these black women for taking a position, that's a sign of weakness. That's a sign of weakness. And I want to shout out the good brothers like David Banner.
Come on. Come on.
I want to shout out the good brothers like our main man from Full Force, Bow-Legged Lou.
Come on.
Who always shout us out.
Come on.
Okay, they supportive and say, stand strong.
Come on.
Maurice Duncan, that y'all don't know, but that's my man. He's a PR cat. They get some of the baddest cats on there.
Get him on the team then.
We can't forget Mr. Nashville.
Can't forget Brother Larry Nashville.
Cannot. And I want to shout out a sister. Couple of them. My sister's name is Corey B.
Come on.
And that sister goes on the road with me. And when that sister told me after it was said and done, not when it was happening in the moment, when I found out people were putting her off of shows because of her relationship with me, and she looked at me and said, if you rockin', I'm rolling, bitch. I don't care about them people putting me off them shows. See that sister right there? She one of the baddest in the game. But there's another sister in this game that is a legend, that is a vet, that is so brilliant in what she does. And that sister's been calling me the whole way through. And her name is Roseanne Barr.
Come on.
The one we tried to throw away. See, I can't name the other black female comedians that say, hey, sis, I'm just calling to check on you. Just want to make sure you're good, because the fight is for y'all, God damn it.
Because if she's sitting here with some of the most prestigious awards, she's sitting here as the only comedian in the history. Some people will say Whoopi Goldberg. No, she's the most brilliant comedic actress in history in terms of what she's done. She's a monologuist. But in terms of a stand-up comedian, MoNique is the only female stand-up comedian in the history that is of color to have ever won an Academy Award. And you can tell me about the white one that's won it. A 22-year running sitcom, the first black woman in the history of the game to have a sitcom go 5 years, 100 episodes. But y'all didn't know that, and they don't want to talk about that. They want to keep it quiet, because if you don't speak about what it is that what you've done, then it's like you've done nothing.
And DL, let me address you on this, brother. When you say it's what you're doing right now, see, you've made people believe I've stopped being a stand-up comedian. I've never stopped being a stand-up comedian, baby. I've been out there on that road doing my thing the whole time. So stop trying to put a false narrative out there. That's Steve Harvey's big word. Stop trying to put a false narrative out there that, oh, I just disappeared. No, brother.
Do you hear how Steve Harvey is ingrained in her mind? She's in the middle of saying, I'm talking to DL Hughley, and she says something, and she says, never mind, that's a Steve Harvey big word. Wait a minute, did you study the words that Steve Harvey keeps in a heavy rotation in his vernacular, in his everyday speech? Something's not right. Something's not right. I really do hope you heal one day, Mo. I do. Because you done took us all the way around the mulberry bush. We went to Weep twice. And you mad at buses that are going to take people straight down to a destination. God damn it. This shit here is exhausting. I'm telling you.
Hollywood doesn't stop the show. You know that, DL. You've been in those comedy clubs. As a matter of fact, there were times you was leaving and I was coming. We didn't stop doing what we do. So why ever would you try to feed that into the community?
And I also want to thank Brother 50.
Come on.
Curtis Jackson.
More
Come
name
on.
dropping, child.
You didn't have to say what you said.
Come on.
But you did. Appreciate you. One black man to another.
I want to talk right to our baby. From one black woman to that beautiful, pure-hearted black man. And let me be clear. I'm saying Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is of pure heart. So when y'all get to talking about, oh, 50, you next, oh, that's a man, that's a king. He's of pure heart, baby, and he's principled. See, we have conversations offline and people got to saying, she ain't thanked 50, she ain't said nothing to 50. We don't have to have our relationship online. And that brother ain't said nothing. When people tried to turn that thing into something ugly that it was not. So again, for you, brother, Curtis.
We love you.
We love you, baby. And there are those out there that we don't know your names. We want you to know we love you. We want you to know for the ones that's been down with us, been rocking with us, been buying the tickets, we love y'all and thank you, my babies. So we appreciate y'all joining us on this live. DL, an open invitation.
And I want to share one thing with you.
Share it, baby.
Leave you with this. Something I heard, this ain't from me. It says the individual has always had to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try, you will be lonely often and sometimes afraid.
It's the way I type Tinder on the screen.
There is no price too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself.
Tinder.
We love y'all, my sweet babies.
For free.
Not for free.
Love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the 66 minutes we will never, and when I say never, I mean never. We are never getting it back. We are never getting it back. Someone left a comment that says, Jane, you and your commentary are getting me through. And you know what? You are welcome. Angie C says, the plainest, Jane, your commentary is really helping me decompress. I'm glad. All I can do is sit here and bring my sense of humor with me and try to make sense. You know, in the famous words of MoNique, now make it make sense. Make it make sense. I'm not finding any sense to be made here. None. I'm seeing a whole bunch of a waste of time and y'all trying to conduct business in front of everyone, of which you dared him to bust out his, his contract, something as private and personal as a pay stub on the internet for millions of people to see, which is a liability. And being upset when you didn't get what you asked for, but I didn't see page 8 of your contract with full-blown signatures. Not that we should have, because what the hell is that shit doing online? MoNique. Baby. It was definitely all over the place. How do you all feel about it? How do you feel about this debacle thus far? I broke down what DL Hughley said last night / this morning. It was low after midnight. And what he said was she is an occupational hazard. This live consisted of these two people, Daddy and MoNique, right? Talking in circles. There was nothing conducive about this discussion. She dropped about 142 names, bust out some childhood trauma, gave no trigger warning about enduring sexual abuse at the hands of her brother basically taking her up the street and letting 2 other people, take non-consensual sex. I mean, just, baby, we went all over the place from comparing what she did on stage to DL Hughley to a person being raped and screaming to the top of their lungs. People in the chat asking what they smoking. I don't know what they smoking, but somebody roll me up something because I'm exhausted. And whatever you roll me up, don't roll me up what they got. Let's take it down a couple notches. I hope she heals. I hope they can get past this. One thing about Monique, she is not going to back down. She is not going to back down. How many quotes did he memorize? I think they had a whiteboard back there with what you call it, the markers on the whiteboards. What you call it? Dry erase. You know, you saw him pulling up his phone to read us a couple different definitions of what a deal memo is, because we're clearly incapable of doing so. It's my face smoking. Listen. DL said he needed a support dog, and Daddy was like, she was molested. Yeah, this was a mess. This was a mess. And I do believe that Monique does weaponize feminism sometimes. If her opponent just so happens to be a guy, here she go busting out all the tropes and everything that's been done to her. Don't get me wrong, like misogyny is very real and very present, especially in the entertainment industry. It is very much a male-dominated industry. So I'm not trivializing the existence of some of these inequalities, right, that are well alive and thriving. But the way she connected these dots, it's just not making sense. It's just not making sense. He said, I need to go back to school after that. It was just too much. It was just too much. Let me know what you think about it. Listen, shout out to everybody on the bus. There's 136 of us left. We got up to like 160 or so on the bus. So this was definitely a full bus ride. Do me a favor, on your way out, hit that damn thumbs up button. It's free. Okay. You can donate to the show without even paying no money. It's free. Give a donation by just hitting that damn thumbs up button. Okay. You are welcome. It is not required for you to send cash apps or super chats, or super thanks or any of that. You can donate for free. First of all, I appreciate you donating your time, right? Spending time with me, getting into this nonsense and allowing me to give you all my commentary. I don't take that for granted, but thank you so much for all that you do when you engage with my content, when you leave your comments, whether you're on the bus or you're chasing the bus, which means that you're watching the replay. Just know I appreciate all that stuff from y'all, okay? It's 135 of us here. If you haven't already subscribed, take a moment, hit that daggone button. All of your support helps. Okay, hit the notification bell for extra little razzle dazzle. I know a couple people be telling me they ain't getting my notifications. Hit the notification bell. All right, y'all know YouTube deleted my channel at 102,000 subscribers. So I'm here rebuilding, laying brick by brick, making sure I deliver y'all some quality content. And speaking of quality content, please check out the video that I did yesterday. You'll see Joe Biden and issues under the flag is a term that I've coined over here. It's a very heavy video, but you might want to tune in to see what Joe Biden is throwing in these school systems and how he's taking away lunch if boys can't enter the girls' restroom. So I did a lot. We went straight to the government website to get the information, and then I give you a bit of a breakdown as to how and why Joe Biden and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are doing this, the federal funding and the food and all that other stuff. So listen, thank y'all, okay? I'm gonna go eat dinner. I feel like I got another live in me tonight. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a live publicly for everybody or we gonna do a live members only, but I got another live in me tonight. It's early. Are y'all proud of me? Are y'all proud? Because I'm proud. Let me talk about why I'm proud real quick. Because I got to leave Monique in the past, child. I spent 66 minutes screen recording this shit. I sat here and watched it for another 66 minutes with y'all. I ain't never gonna get that time back. Keep it sticking real. Let me know how y'all felt about it. But I'm proud of myself because I came live before 7 o'clock. Y'all know I'm usually late as hell. It'd be 10, 11, 12, 1 in the morning. Discord saying elder abuse because I go live too late. People miss the bus. Baby, I'm getting better with my time and it coming on early. The sun was still up when I went live. Live before 7 o'clock. Baby, what? Moving on up. Okay. People be waking up the lives like, wait a minute, Jane, I didn't know you went live. Yes, I went live. Okay. Yes, I went live. So you know what? Yeah, I do have another live because I did put together a really good Black History segment for today. And I don't want to include it in this video. This video is full of madness, right? And it's just one of those in-between videos where it's not too heavy. We're not talking about a school shooting. We're not talking about children being at risk, right? So this is very much fun filler content for me, but something that's very much enjoyable. So we are able to escape the tragedies in the world. Last week was a lot. So I'm proud that I was able to go live a little bit earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and eat dinner, come back. I did see a couple of things that are going on social media today that I do want to touch on, and I definitely want to make sure I give y'all today's Black History moment. Okay, so I'm looking forward to all of that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, but I edited this little Black History clip, so I like playing it. Okay. Now let's spend a little bit of time with our ancestors, or at least listening to them, because they always tell us you don't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. So let's get into a little bit of Black history with this Black History moment.
They got me in the system. Why they gotta do me like that?
I know I can be what I wanna be what I wanna be.
We've got love for y'all, which I don't know.
Just
About the feeling.
Get down. Okay, so that's my little Black History clip, and I'm really proud of that. And it just makes me and this new Black History segment just feel a little bit more official. Okay, like when a team or a club in high school, when they get jackets with the letters on them, you official as a goddamn whistle. Okay, so I see a couple people asking what time I'm gonna go live later. Listen, if I give you a time right now, I swear I'd be lying, because I'm not sure. Even if I was to say 10:30, 11 o'clock. I can't say, and I don't want to lie and have y'all waiting for like a specific time, and I'm not able to deliver on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Listen, I hope that y'all have an amazing night. Y'all enjoy y'all dinner. I'm gonna go ahead and eat my dinner. I see a lot of people happy that they caught the bus. Okay, so yeah, I look forward to talking to y'all later. See, I'm trying to read the chat and all that other stuff. But listen, y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay beautiful, black, and blessed until the next time that we speak. Okay? The Life Marie says, I'll probably be asleep. That's all right. You can catch the replay. That's why it's important for you to hit that daggone notification bell. Because whether it's entertainment stuff, whether it's real Black news, stuff that's going on with policies, hidden stuff going on with legislation, all of that stuff, I like getting into all that. I like being informative and entertaining and enlightening. Those are some of my 3 secret ingredients over here on my channel, the things that really get me going. Okay, so y'all had an amazing day, and yes, follow me on Twitter as well, because I do give some detailed information on Black history there too. All right, and y'all know I'm a riot over there on Twitter. So let me go ahead and get off here and eat, and I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Okay, make sure you subscribe. Okay, and thumbs up or down, either way, I appreciate it. But make sure you think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. Show me some love, throw some pancakes in the chat, okay? I'll see y'all on Twitter. Until then, and I'm gonna see y'all a little bit later on tonight. All right, deuces.
Anyway.
See, one thing about me, I am going to work Andrew into any situation. Did y'all catch Andrew Caldwell in my Black History clip? I had to. It's only right. It's my boy. See y'all later. But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.